Good evening, gang. It's Sunday night, Sunday the 11th of July 2021. A very good evening to you, and welcome to tonight's little chat show. Coming to you tonight from the Chapel Hill Marina here in Lincolnshire. A little alternative to the football. I wasn't sure whether I should do one or not because I'm not quite sure how many people will be there. But here we are, and we'll do our little thing as we normally do on a Sunday night. And I hope you enjoy it. I'm a little bit worried actually. I can't find my mints anywhere. Very, very worrying. I like to have a little packet of mints here. So when people call in, I do take that as an opportunity to eat a mint. Although I should be keeping off the sugar for a while. I was given the biggest ever bar of chocolate last night. We did a little impromptu show, which you may or may not have seen, with great niece Evie and great nephew Harry, and we were playing this game called 5 Second Rule for about an hour last night, and we videoed it, and I know some of you enjoyed it. I got an email from a text message actually from Maureen after the show, or during the show, I think it was. We weren't really doing text messages at all last night. We were kind of reading off the message board, but the trouble with the message board, it gets very jumbled up, and people are talking to each other. And then they're trying to send a message to you, and it gets very jumbled up. So if we do that again, which may be this week, okay, I might have something else this week. I don't want to say, I can't promise in case it doesn't happen, but Evie in particular wants to do a specific show at some point, okay, and that may be tomorrow night. Don't know yet whether or not it'll happen, so I can't give you a time, can't give her a promise, but if you've got the little subscribe button clicked on your various devices, you should get a ping or something like that when if a show's about to happen. All right, my darling, so fingers crossed with that. But I think this time we'll probably do it with text messages, as in this show, rather than off the chat box, because as I say, it gets a little bit complicated on there. If you're new to the show, welcome along. If you're trying to send us a message in the chat box, I'm afraid I don't read those. You've got to send us a text or perhaps an email. Email at the bottom of the screen there, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, or you can send a text. And the text in number on your mobile phone, just a normal rate number, not premium, 07451 287 337, all right? 07451 287 337. As you can see, I'm back up at the caravan, as indicated by the illuminated caravan above me there. Have you seen all this stuff here? Glenda bought me all this stuff. In America, I've had that about 2 years. One thing I forget, I have to keep changing the batteries in that, because that's the one thing I forget whenever I finish a show. And I'll come in here the next morning to do the radio show and the blooming light's still on. It's costing me a fortune. Can you provide batteries as well, please, Glenda? Send them immediately to my phone. I don't think you'd send batteries on the plane, can you? I'm not quite sure how that works. Yeah, all that stuff's given to me by the lovely Glenda, and over a period of time. So thanks very much for that, Glenda. What else have we got here? Let's have a look here. Good. I think that's what I was going to say there. Yes, that's all I was going to say. We had the karaoke, of course, on Friday. Those of you that watched it, I hope you enjoyed it. I thought the singers were pretty good this week, weren't they? I do like... I think Delroy is possibly the most popular member there. He's such a character. He keeps promising me he's going to come in with a different coloured hair. It's red at the moment, but I don't think he's going to be there next week. He actually bought me in a box of chocolates this week, a box of Cadbury's Dairy Milk chocolates, which are in here next to the mega-sized Cadbury's... Do you want to see the... I've still got the box. No, I haven't eaten it all. Let me go and get the box, just in case you missed it yesterday. Hang on a minute. Do you know, I'm ever so hot. I'm just going to turn the air conditioning on just a minute. Very hot in here. Let's get this on. Turn that up high. There we go. I'm just closing some doors. I should have done this before I started. It's really hot in here at the moment. I don't like to have the door open while I'm doing a show because I don't like to upset the neighbours with sound. Here, look at the size of this bin. Look at this. And the whole thing is a bar of chocolate. Hang on a minute. That's the inside. Is that the inside coming out there? There we are. There we are. The whole thing is a bar of chocolate. No, I haven't had it all yet. I'm waiting to share it. We had a little bit last night, and the two children had some as well. And I did say to my nephew's wife, can I leave it here? And she said no, because they'll eat it. So I had a little bit this afternoon, and I've just had a little bit now as well. So Gordon, you know what chocolate does to me? I won't be able to shut up for more than 5 minutes. No change there, then, is there? So nice singers, nice little present. And off we go then. Some messages coming in already. Vera. Good evening, Vera. Vera in London. Right, she's now watching Merlin for the first time. She'd never seen it before. I've started watching that again on Netflix. It's one of the best things the BBC's ever done, I think. Merlin, about the wizard and King Arthur and various stories. And, of course, that wonderful dragon, the voice with John Hurt there. Wonderful series on Netflix now. And Vera says she's watching it for the first time. It's going to be a long 5.5 months. Thank you for the recommendation. Yes, 65 episodes of that. 65 episodes. As I say, I don't usually watch... binge watching. I don't do the binge watching. I've been watching it with my mate, and he likes to watch a few at a time. I'll watch 2, any more than 2, and I'm like, it doesn't matter how good it is. It doesn't feel right to me to binge watch stuff. I know some people with the excellent Jeremy Clarkson's Farm program, also, no, that one's on Amazon Prime, isn't it? Clarkson's Farm. I know people that heard about that and immediately spent an entire day watching all of them, which is entirely up to them. I mean, that's 6 hours of sitting there watching the telly, and I start fidgeting, dear, after 10 minutes. I did watch a good film this afternoon, actually. Let me see if I can remember what it was called now. It's about this little girl that gets abducted, and she's in the States, and no one believes her. And she's got a horrible granddad, and he abuses her, doing the sexual abuse business, which isn't good. Let's see. I don't know how to do this now. Top 10. Is it The Deceived? Was it The Deceived? Hang on. It was one of their recommended ones. Oh, I can't find it now. Does anyone know the one on... No, not The Serpent. Is it The Deceived? No. Is it The Deceived? Fast and Furious. My List. Is it My List? Believe Me. There it is. Believe Me. Believe. Believe Me. And it's about this young girl. And she's abused by her... She lives with her grandfather and grandmother. The grandmother knows what's going on. She gets abused by her grandfather. And she has a job and has to give them all her money as well. She gives all her money. And then one day she leaves work and gets abducted. Nasty, nasty things happen to her. And she escapes, but no one believes her, except for one cop. And it's a good film. So if you want to watch that, all right, Believe Me. That's available now on Netflix. Right, let's read some of your messages then. Good evening to George Bond. Evening to George. Hello to Diane Jebb. Good evening, Diane. Evening to Jason Hughes. Oh, it's a birthday today. Ashton is 17 years old today. Ashton is 17. Have I got my birthday music here? Give us a second. Let's see if I can find that. Happy... might be in Jingles. Let's see if it's in Jingles. Hang on a minute. We got birthdays. Where is it? Birthday. D-I-R-Day. Oh, yes, here it is, dear. Here it is, my love. All right. Now, what's his name again? Was it Ashton? Let me hang on. Ashton. Ashton is 17 years old today. So a big happy birthday today to Ashton. Where is it? I'm sure I pulled that over there a minute ago. Why isn't it there? 1 minute, 1 minute. It's not working. What's that? I hope that works. Why isn't that working? Put it over there. Let's try it over there. Nope, don't work there either. Oh, what a bummer. Jingle, happy birthday to you. Does that work? Big happy birthday on your 17th. What did you get? What did you do anything for him, or any nice presents or anything like that, Jason? It's a bit of a time away since I was 17 years old, I must say. Oh dear, I'm glad I'm not 17. I wasn't a good teenager. Good evening to Gary Ross. Evening to you, Gary. And Vera's there. There's Vera. Fireworks are going off here in Woodford Green. It was a bit early, isn't it? Oh, they celebrate November the 5th early or something like that. Is it the Wimbledon tennis final as well today? There seems to be an awful lot happening today. It's not just like one thing, is it? Wonderful. Don't forget that text number then, 07451 287 337 if you want to send me a text, or email Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Now, the picture there, I don't think I brought the picture up again. I keep forgetting to put the picture up. It's in the corner there. Let's make that bigger. Then you'll see it. There you go. Dragged out of the tent by a bear. I mean, how frightening must that be? Anyone been camping? I've been camping quite a few times in the past. Not so much recently. You know, when I was a little boy. Oh, what have I done now? Once when I was a little boy, went camping, scouts and all that business. Some wonderful times. Sometimes with leaders, and then as the boys get older, we used to just go as a group of boys, you know, and there would be one boy in charge, like the patrol leader. I became a patrol leader, and you would go on a little campsite. You'd arrange it all yourself, yeah, all the booking, all the food, and mum and dad would drop you off there, or the scout leader called Skip drop us off at the campsite and come back 2 days later. Was wonderful, really, being in the Scouts. I don't know if it's the same now. I should imagine they're hooked up with health and safety and all sorts of stuff like that, and security and all that business. But they were some of my best times in the Scouts. One of the places I was very, very lucky to go was on a Scout Jamboree, which should have been in Iran, 1979, but they started having lots of troubles there. So they moved it to all different places all over the world. And we went to America, New York, Boston. And we also went to Maine, Maine, which is just one of the most beautiful places you could see. It's just lakes and forests and things like that. But a bit different to the forest that I go in, because in these forests and in this sort of area are bears. Okay? Now, I must say, I never saw a bear while I was there. In fact, in all the time, unless I've been in a safari park, I've never really seen a dangerous wild animal out anywhere. I mean, I've stood quite close to a kangaroo, right? But I'm not sure that they attack unless they feel threatened or anything like that. Mind you, a lot of animals are like that anyway, aren't they? But certainly not a bear. However, the guide who was with us in Maine, we went for a 50-mile hiking, walking and canoeing. Hiking and canoeing. And it was wonderful. And we stayed in under trees next to the lakes. And the lakes were so big they had a bit of a waves going on and that sort of thing. I do have a Super 8 film of that setup, which is a silent film. And one day I will get that converted and put it up online. It's quite an expensive thing to have that done. It's something like, it works out to about 50 or 60 quid to have something done like that. But, you know, whatever. So I will get that done at some point. And the guide had a rifle. And the rifle was in case we came across any bears. And they wouldn't leave us alone. We never saw any bears, fortunately. And a really wonderful time, that. Have you ever seen any wild animals, like when you weren't expecting them? Not in a zoo or a safari park or in a cage. Perhaps you've been out somewhere, I don't know, maybe in another country like I was, and you came across a polar bear in Alaska, or, I don't know, a lion in the safari. Have you ever seen anything like that? Well, this poor old cow dear, she was camping in Montana. Sky News, a grizzly bear sadly got shot dead. I always feel like really sad. Even when, like, the animal was attacked someone, it was only doing what it naturally does. Do you know what I mean? I always found that very sad. But nevertheless, you just imagine that, sleeping in your tent, and you're a bit of a noise outside, and suddenly a bear comes in and drags you out. A grizzly bear has been shot dead in Montana after it dragged a woman from her tent and killed her. So she didn't survive it either, local officials have said. This lady, she's 65, was on mountain biking trip with 2 friends when the 400-pound bear attacked their camp in the early hours of Tuesday. Officials hunted the beast for 3 days using helicopters and ground equipment. It's believed to have raided a chicken coop overnight on Wednesday. Oh, those chickens have gone mad, dear. It's bad enough when there's a tiny little fox dragging one out. Isn't it? Poor chickens. They have a rough life. I said this the other day. What rough life? Oh, no creature can have much more of a worse life than a poor blooming chicken. And they're such friendly creatures as well. They will befriend. They do befriend you, chickens. You know, they will befriend you. It's believed to have raided a chicken coop overnight on Wednesday, leaving wildlife staff to set a trap in the hope of luring it back. Now, the bear returned to the scene 2 miles away from where the lady died and was shot dead in the early hours by staff using night vision goggles, which is really sad. Why they couldn't just, with the darts, make it go to sleep and then perhaps put it back where it should be, I don't know. Because, of course, it is a natural thing, isn't it? Bears and tigers and lions attacking people, that is like a natural thing. See, they don't see us as another animal. They see us as food. In the same way that you go in your local Tesco's. You look at these bits of meat on there. You see the human brain has been accustomed to not actually seeing an animal in that piece of plastic. You just see a bit of beef. You don't see the cow. Similar to the animals, I suppose. They don't see us as living beings. They see us as something to eat, something moving to eat. I wonder if they get, these awful people that go out hunting animals for the fun of it, which I totally abhor. I wonder if animals, as well as seeing us as something to eat, if we're running, do they see that as a bit of a challenge, like some of these hunters do? Although it's no challenge. You see, those hunting people, there's no challenge for them, is it really? They hide in a little thing. Nothing's ever going to happen to them, and they just take the shot. Animal don't stand a chance, does it? But do the animals look at us, perhaps, and as well as seeing something to eat, well, I won't eat it yet. I'll chase it for a little bit first. I wonder if they get anything out of that, This poor bear, though, it's not here anymore. There's only 100 people live there. So there we are. I mean, this lady was an experienced cyclist. It says in the on Sky website. An outdoor enthusiast working as a nurse back in California. California, here I come. They got a nice Disney there. I haven't been to California. The president of the local cycling team, who knew her for more than 15 years, paid tribute. He said she really had a good spirit, always a smile on her face, always lit up when she saw you, just like me, lighting up. You see how I lit up then? Always gave you a big hug, he said. Bear attacks on humans are rare, despite as many as 1,000 of them living in the region which borders Canada. It's quite close to Canada. They've got bears in Canada, don't they? It is sad. Everybody recognises this as really abnormal behaviour, to actually attack someone sleeping in a tent in a town. I think we still don't have a good answer for why he did that. But he did, and someone's dead, and he's dead as well, which is really sad, I think, to lose an animal like that. Poor old bear. Anyway, gang, let's read some of your little messages coming in. Good evening to Maureen. Evening to you, Maureen. Thank you very much for your little message about the show yesterday. Hello to Ray Reynolds. Good evening, Ray. Ray says, I was at Pontins Pakefield Lowestoft in 1966 when I was 18 years old. Tom Edwards was a camp host there a year or two before. Was he a blue coat? Was Tom a blue coat? I didn't know that. Tom Edwards was a blue coat. I didn't know that. Never knew that. Thank you, Ray. Evening to Sherry Parish. Evening to you. Evening to Sherry. Evening, Chris, and your loyal viewers. She's watching the football and listening at the same time. Evening to you. And good evening to John Parrish joining us there. Gary Ross is there. It's Daniel Woodhouse's birthday today as well. I don't know if he's with us at the moment, actually. Perhaps he'll call in a little bit later on and then we can sing to him down the phone. All right. 07451 287 337 is my local London number. Have you ever been... sorry, is the text number. We'll open the phone line as well early, shall we? There we go. On the phone. I'm just going to move that over a little bit because I know that if there's people... there you go. There's people watching the recording of this that will go over the subscribe button. So there you go. Phone line's open as well if you want to call in right now. 020-8144-3477 is my local London number. Okay, what else have we got on the show today? How much would you pay for a swimsuit? Hey, how much would you pay for a swimsuit? I will buy the cheapest shorts I can possibly find. You know, George at Asda or something like that. I've even ordered them off eBay before. You know, don't bother me. I don't know, not the budgie smugglers, no. I am hoping at some point to be able to fit back into those. What with my extended swimming now. I've already booked one swimming for next Sunday. Up here where I am at the moment at Caravan. The stupid thing is I tried to... the Boston place, which I used to be a member. I'm not a member anymore, so I've now got to book it. Well, I think you have to book it even if you're a member, but I'm not a member there anymore. So I went on the internet and typed in Boston Leisure Centre. It's the George Mulder Leisure Centre. Now get this, how stupid is this, right? So you can book the swimming online, right? But you have to register. You can't register online. You've got to go there physically and register. So I bet if I was to go there tomorrow, I bet if I went there tomorrow with my swimming stuff and I registered, I bet I wouldn't then be able to go swimming until I'd come home and booked online or done it on the phone or something like that. And by then it's too late anyway. If it's anything like the Bracknell Leisure Centre back at home, you know, you've got to be in there early to book that place. This is how swimming and all sorts of things work now at the moment anyway. You know, it's not just turn up and go. They have a limited amount of numbers. I don't know what the limit is in the Bracknell Leisure Centre. I have to say it's a very big pool. And what they've done there, they've got 2 large pools. And they separate each pool into 3 lanes. Now, these lanes are really big. I mean, they're big enough for one to swim either side and someone to overtake. And there's plenty of room. In fact, the other day I saw someone double overtaking. You know, so someone swimming there, someone was overtaken here, and then someone was overtaken there. Now, admittedly, that third one was a bit close to there, but there was the room to do it. And that's what you have to do now. You have to go on there and book before you go. Sometimes days in advance. We had trouble finding like medium lane slots. We got slow ones. So the first couple of days, I think, no, it was just the first day actually. The first day we went in like the slow. There's slow, medium, fast. We can get in a medium, and fast is just you don't want to go in a fast lane. Oh, cool, but the experts are in the fast lane, and woe betide you if you get in their blooming way. Nightmare. There they are with their little shorts and the goggles and the hats. Oh, they got all the gear on, the hats and everything. No, you don't want to get in there. That being said, I thought some of the people in the middle lane were faster than those in the fast lane. So we went in the slow lane the first day, and of course we kept overtaking people. But like I say, there was plenty of space. But it's just as it is. But what would you spend on what's the most you'd spend on a swimming costume? I asked this because the Daily Mail is reporting Harry Styles. That's a bloke in No Erection. Do you remember No Erection? He's also a very good actor. He was in the film, the war film Dunkirk, and I thought he was really good. Very talented man. He's 27 now, and he's got a girlfriend, 37, and there's pictures of them, and it says the Fine Line Hitmaker showed off his toned tattoo physique, a little bit like my own, as he dried himself off with a towel after taking a dip in the sea with his girlfriend by Giglio Island. I have no idea where that is, Giglio Island. And of course, there's loads of pictures of them. There's a couple of pictures he doesn't look like. He looks more like Louis. I'm sure that's Louis and not Harry Styles. And then, you know, I'm not being funny. There's like pictures of them snogging and having a shower, and then she's looking at the camera. Presumably, well, they would know the cameras are there. It's just a shame. Sometimes it doesn't matter what big star you're. You want a little bit of privacy, don't you? You know, you don't want these blooming cameras. Of course, old Diana had this problem, didn't she? And the royals. On the other hand, you could say, well, you know, they're fair game. They're celebrities. I think they want their little bit of privacy as well. Anyway, and the story is that there's loads of pictures of the pair of them swimming and snogging, and oh dear me, you know, one's laying on their back, and it's just like a non. To me, it's just like a non-story. But people are obsessed with celebrity stories, aren't they? They're absolutely obsessed with it. It says, taking a breather in the shallow water, Harry and Olivia couldn't held but put on a PDA display. What's a PDA display? What's that? As they shared a kiss with their snorkels. Visible from behind, Olivia was wearing a gold cross necklace, which Harry wore in his Lights Up video and gifted to her. The singer passionately wrapped his arms around his girlfriend as they embraced. I mean, is someone writing a bleeding story here? Who was that woman? Barbara Cartland. Was it Barbara Cartland? She always wore pink. Was that her? And she had these dogs with pink ribbons in. She wrote all those mucky stories. That's what they're doing in the Daily Mail. This is a news item. But anyway, so how do we get from that to the expensive swimsuits? Because I've noticed in the Daily Mail, I never really noticed it in any other papers. Always when they have a story like this, they then look at what the person is wearing, or perhaps a gadget they've got, and then they try and sell it to you. So there's an advert halfway down there, right? Female fashion finder. Okay? And the advert says, be in the Navy like Olivia Wilde, that's his girlfriend at the moment, wearing, how do you say that? Ears. E-R-E-S. Eres. It says, Olivia Wilde put on a rather amorous display as she holidayed on yacht with beau Harry Styles. The duo went matchy-matchy in their navy ensembles, which mirrored the azure ocean and listen how they buttered it. It's a bit like going to a restaurant, isn't it? You know, the sort of, creamy chipped potatoes with da-da-da. And they're just chips. But they butter it all up, don't they? So it actually looks better than what it is. You know, tomatoes picked in the sunny islands of Sicily, looked over by old mother Pedro. They're just tomatoes. Tomatoes. And crushed carefully while being sieved through a thing to bring you the joy that is tomato soup. Why didn't it just say tomato soup? Okay, I tell you why. Because if it said tomato soup, it would cost you 65 pence. If it comes out with all that other crap, it's more like £6.50 for a bowl. How many tins can you get for that? Heinz tomato soup. Yes, please, mummy. Do you know what I like to have with Heinz tomato soup as well as a roll? Cheese and onion crisps. I haven't got any crisps here at the moment. It's terrible. I've got this whacking great big bar of chocolate. I don't dare have any more of that today. Anyway, the story goes on. Olivia's bikini is esteemed swimwear. Like, wait till you hear the price of this bikini. Right? You're going to die. Olivia's bikini is esteemed swimwear label, Eres, and features fun denim effect patch pockets and button detail. I love the way they butter all this crap up, don't you? The high waist provides full coverage. We don't want to see any hairs, dear. Oh, no. Oh, ladies, please. Oh, God, it's awful. It's so low, you see a little hair because they haven't been shaving. It's not a good look, girls. Mind you, some of the fellas do the same thing. I mean, how much lower can a pair of Tom Daley's swimming shorts go? I've been looking for a pair of those on various different websites. I'm not sure there really is, though. I'm not paying good money for shorts that are not Tom Daley's. I'm sorry. Call me old-fashioned. It's Tom's or nothing. The high waist provides full coverage and will nip you in the waist, which makes... You wouldn't nip me in the waist, mate. I would have muffin top. More like chocolate cake top. It would be like this. So here would be the shorts, right, and that's the shorts there, and that would be my waist coming over the top of them. Oh, yours is the same, is it? Never mind. Once it's gone, it's gone. Unless, of course, you're Katie Price and you've got hundreds of thousands of pounds, to spend paying some doctor to shove a straw in your waist and suck the fat out. And he spits it into a bowl, doesn't he? Which are then taken down to restaurants and you have your chips cooked in it. And then you eat your own fat all over again. Why waste it? Why waste it? Carrying on with us, the high waist provides full coverage and will nip you in the waist, which makes it super flattering. Why not layer up with a billowy cotton shirt and add raffia accessories for a French Riviera vibe? Riviera vibe. What is a French Riviera vibe? I'm not quite sure what that is. Anyone know? A French Riviera vibe. You can add Olivia's bikini to your own wardrobe with a click, right? Okay, so there's a link there, of course, on the right. You won't want to wear any other bikini ever. Alternatively, swim on down to Carousel, to the Carousel, to shop at Edit of the best navy bikinis to steal Olivia's style for less. So I'm now going to show you the bikini, okay? Hang on a minute, one minute. Where is it now? They're mainly pictures of him, which is he is very pleasing on the arm, as you know. Oh, there we go. There she is. Do you want to see a picture of him as well, girls? You do, don't you? Of course you do. One minute. Right, here's the bikini first. Right, here's the bikini first, right? Okay, there's the bikini. How much is that? Go on, have a guess how much that is. And meanwhile, here's a picture of Harry, who doesn't, I have to say, doesn't look like Harry. Oh, Harry, I think you've been having a couple of too many pizzas there. Your little tummy's sticking out there, but we don't mind that, my darling. There's little Harry there. There's little Harry. And there's with the expensive bikini. Go on, how much do you reckon that is? See if you can guess how much that is. How much for that bikini? Let's just read a couple of your messages here. Ray Reynolds says that I know Tom was an announcer on Radio Pontin. He may not have been a blue coat. Radio Pontin. Did he have to read? I bet he had to read out when it was dinner time and all that. Hello, this is Bing Bong. Hello, this is Radio Pontin calling. Just to let you know, breakfast is being served in the dining room in 10 minutes at 8:30. I remember the Radio Pontin. They had a little studio. In the literally in the corridor. I just seeing I had a couple of record players in there and a microphone. They only really used it to announce meals by the time we got to the sort of 70s when I was going there. Right, Ray, did you ever go to Pontins? Sherry says PDA, public display of affection. Is that what it is? Oh, thank you, Sherry. It's a public display of affection. Did you know that? Why do they just put all these abbreviations in that no one understands? Well, I don't anyway, dear. The amount of places and they put abbreviations. And that's another thing. There must be an awful lot of young journalists around there who don't know how to speak English because they keep putting in words that I don't know. Well, what does that mean? Do you know what I mean? What does that mean? I bet you don't know half the words either. Gary Ross says, I reckon the bikini cost £325. That bikini... Oh, we've got another guest coming in here. John Parrish. Oh, okay. Oh, he's not saying that. Let's have a look. Where was it now? Harry Styles. There we go. The actual cost of that bikini is... 660... How is it possible to charge so much money for the smallest piece of material ever? I mean, I know it's not like a G string. Oh, aren't they ghastly G strings? Awful things. How is it possible to charge £665 for such small pieces of material? But you see, mugs will see that and buy it. You know, just so that they can say, oh, I've got the same bikini as Olivia Wilde. Who is Olivia Wilde? I don't even know what she does. Is she an actress? I've not a clue who she is. £665 for that. Shocking state of affairs, isn't it? I don't think Daniel's going to be with us. I expect he's watching television at the moment, I would guess. Good evening to Paul Coupland. Good evening, Paul. Hope you're well. Nice to see you, Paul. And he actually sent in a text a couple of days ago saying, had a fab night on YouTube. Hi, mate, fab night on YouTube. I think he was referring to the... yes, it was, to the karaoke that we streamed on Friday. All right. Other karaoke news, actually. I may have another night. Somewhere else. I can't tell you where it is at the moment. All right. I never tell people where it is anymore. You may remember a couple of years ago, I had so many false starts. And quite frankly, it was embarrassing. It was absolutely embarrassing. I had so many false starts, nights that nearly happened, and then at the last minute, someone kept pulling the plug. There was about 6 of them, one after the other, and at the end of it, I kind of gave up a bit, to be honest. But there is a possibility of another one on Thursday nights, okay, which will be sort of East London way. That's all I can tell you at the moment. Be quite an early one, 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. It is a place that has had karaoke in the past before, and it was extremely popular in the past before as well. Used to be a bit of a spit and sawdust pub, but by the looks of it, it's been poshed up a lot. That's all I can tell you at the moment, all right? So possible karaoke on Thursday nights, 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. Obviously, I'm up here at the moment. Otherwise, I would have gone down there this week and had a look. But they're happy for me to go down Monday week. So I'll be going down there Monday week to check that out. So I'll tell you more information of that as it comes along. All righty. Phone line is open, 0208 144 3477. If you want to call in today. Stop the virus. Another way to stop the virus. Now, one of the things I've got is Viraleze. I mentioned it a few weeks ago, and it's literally this stuff. It's like a little bottle like that, and you take the top off, and you put it up your nose, and you go, you kind of push the bottom, and it squirts stuff up your nose. And I saw it advertised. Looked good. I ordered it. It's not cheap, £15 a bottle, but if you're not using it much, it will last a long time. I think there's something like 80 doses in that thing there. And I wasn't really sure how it worked. I was told about this by my friend DJ Chris, who you often see at the karaoke. And I've been using it. Well, on Friday, I decided to read up on it a little bit. And it turns out you put it up there and it deactivates the virus, because apparently the virus, as well as lots of other colds and flu viruses, they get in you up your nose. Most of them get in you up your nose, and they attach them. I'm not into biology and science and all that, but well, I am, but I don't really understand a lot of it. But apparently it stops the virus attaching itself to the inside of your nose. Now, the idea is to use it, obviously, before you think you might be coming in contact with it. But also, it can work afterwards. So you might go out and forget to do this, right? You get back home, as soon as you get back home, and anything up there, it will immediately stop it doing whatever it's doing and attacking yourself. I mean, it's just another barrier. Nothing is 100% safe, is it? No vaccine's 100% safe. You know, a mask isn't 100% safe. You know, washing your hands, it's all very well washing your hands, but as soon as you've stopped washing your hands, you're touching stuff again, aren't you? Nothing is 100% safe. So it's lots of little things, I believe, that can stop us becoming ill. Not just from coronavirus, not just from that, but from other flus and viruses and colds and all sorts of things. How many of you have had a cold or a flu this year in the last 18 months? I bet you haven't, because I haven't. I have never gone such a long period of time without actually having something. I just hope, after saying that to you, something big doesn't come along and attack us all. But we got this lockdown coming off, haven't we? I like to think that I will continue to do most of the stuff I'm doing, and that is, I was always the one for washing my hands anyway. But with that virus stuff, shove that up your nose. I will say, when you do it, it kind of stings a little bit on the inside of your nose. Not painful, just a little bit. A little bit of a sting on your nose. Bit like perhaps a stinging nettle that lasts seconds, and then you don't know it's there, really. But I think I would like to carry on doing some of the stuff I'm doing. Certainly with the hand washing. I quite like the social distancing. People grabbing you and coming towards you all the time, and take a step back. I do quite like that, because remember, when you're close to someone, doesn't matter how clean they are, they could be carrying viruses in their lungs. They're talking to you like that, and they're all over you, aren't they? Oh, can't bear it, dear. Huh? Well, there's something else. There's something else here mentioned in the Daily Mail. And it says 1 cup of coffee a day cuts the risk of falling ill with COVID-19 by around a tenth, according to a major US study. Coffee. Do you drink coffee? It's not my cup of tea. I like the smell. I don't like the taste. Bitter. The last cup of coffee I had was in Vegas with my nephew. And we had these vouchers, cheaper. So we went out to Subway for breakfast, actually. We went to Subway for breakfast. It was just, like a long roll type thing. And got the coffee machine. Have you got any tea? No, I can't do accents. No, I'm sorry, sir. We've only got coffee. It was either coffee or a fizzy drink. I'm not one for fizzy drinks first thing in the morning, no. I know some people do. They drink Coca-Cola and fizzy lemonade for breakfast. Oh, no, dear. No. So I'll have a cup of coffee, and I got this coffee out of the thing. It was just a standard coffee, nothing special. Come out of a machine, paid the money and sat down. Oh, it was bitter. And Jimmy, my nephew, said, put some sugar in it. I said, I don't put sugar in stuff. It won't really take away that bitterness, will it, Not for me. But, according to this story, it might stop you getting COVID. US scientists analysed the records of 40,000 British adults think the drink protects against the virus. Coffee. Sometimes it's the most simplest of things, isn't it? And how many diseases? Okay, right, you can get flu and all that through the air as well as touch. But there are certain diseases that you can only get through touch, can't you? Is leprosy one of those? There are certain diseases you can only get through touch. And as I say, the simplest of things, wash your hands. Wash your hands. The story continues. They believe it contains health-boosting plant chemicals that may turbocharge the immune system. Are you feeling turbo? No, you're not, are you, darling? Is anyone feeling turbocharged tonight? Is it only me because of the chocolate earlier? It says tea and fruit does not seem to help. Oh dear. Tea and fruit don't seem to help. I would have thought fruit helped, wouldn't you? We always hear that about vitamin C in oranges and what's the big one? Kiwi fruit. That's really full of good vitamins, isn't it? Kiwi fruit. Do you like kiwi fruit? It's all right until it goes too soft, isn't it? I quite fancy a kiwi fruit now. Beautiful little green things, aren't they? It says tea and fruit doesn't seem to help, while a diet heavy in processed meats, such as sausages and bacon, increases the chance of becoming severely ill. The results were published in the journal Nutrients. So there you go. We need to start drinking more coffee so you don't get coronavirus. Very, very bad indeed. Some of your texts. Don't forget the text number 07451 287 337, or you can call in 020 8144 3477. And Alan says, evening, Chris, evening, Alan. He's at the moment enjoying a Chinese takeaway. Number 34, please. Prawn cracker and prawn ball. Yeah, that a bit. £5. £5.60. That is £5.60. You give me £10. That is £4.80 change. Thank you very much. Please cut again. Chinese, not for me, Alan. Oh no, I'm sorry. Not for me, Chinese food. Don't agree with my poor little, very sensitive tummy. My tummy can only take cheese and onion crisps and large bars of chocolate. It won't accept anything else anymore. I accidentally had a piece of fruit the other day. I was sick for 3 weeks. It's awful. It was pouring out of both ends, Alan. Here, look, do you want to see a video? No. Anyway, Alan Ross, he's with you on the radio a little bit later on, gang, at midnight. There you go. Alan Ross tonight at midnight, between midnight and 3 o'clock in the morning on Reach On Air. Ba-ba, Alan Ross in the evening. Da-da-da, Reach On Air. That one, yeah. He's with you tonight on the radio. He says he's having a Chinese takeaway while watching you. I refuse to watch the football. I'll check the score before I go on air so I know what the mood is. I tell you what I saw, Alan, on Facebook. There was some people posting pictures of, I think it was somewhere in Piccadilly. My God. The rubbish. The rubbish. It was, you can't believe. I don't understand why it's so many people dropping so much rubbish. We never had this when we were kids, was it? Mind you, I don't think we had protests, did we? Much like, or mad people going mad for football. I bet it weren't like that in 1966 after we run with the rubbish on the floor. Terrible mess. Piccadilly. You know, sometimes I wonder, because obviously the council come round and pick it all up. What would happen if like the council and people like that, volunteers like myself, what if we didn't go round picking that rubbish up and we just left it building up and building up? Would that stop people dropping it, do you think? Anyone else? If the council, and they are, I believe, obliged to pick your rubbish up, but if they stopped, they could test it on like an estate somewhere, couldn't they? They stopped picking that rubbish up and it just kept building up. Would people eventually stop dropping the bloody stuff and making this beautiful country of ours a complete and utter tip? Used to be able to walk miles and not see any rubbish. I mean, I'm going to go up the river tomorrow probably and pick up a bit. I didn't go up there. I haven't done much exercise yesterday or today, simply because I haven't got any carrier bags to pick up the rubbish. I've got to go shopping because I've run out of carrier bags to pick the rubbish up. I've got my litter picker. You can only carry so much in the pocket. Actually, I'm driving down to my nephew's last night, coming back again. I have to say, I think someone's done it because there's not much litter around at all. It's awful. Awful. There's Vera. Vera says that the film Believe Me is based on a true story. Yes, that was the one I mentioned on Netflix earlier, gang. If you want to watch that, it's about not one for children to watch, okay? This little girl who's abused and abducted and abused by him, sexually. It's awful. And I did know it is based on a true story. Vera says, I skied in Maine, Boston. Wow. Also in Romania, but I didn't see any bears or wolves. But in the restaurants, they had bear skins on chairs, which made me feel very uncomfortable. Not my sort of thing to have. Why would you have that? You remember years ago, of course, they used to have, like, dead, chopped up tigers things and as a carpet, didn't they? With the heads still attached. It's not nice, is it? Why would someone want that in their house? It's like people that have deers. The head of a deer hanging on their bleeding wall. Is that supposed to impress us all, is it? What, you went out and shot a deer? Wow. Huh. Wow, that's really impressive, yeah? What other talent have you got? You know? Oh, wow. So that talent, hey, very good talent of you being an arsehole and killing an animal. Vera says, on the subject of the karaoke, East London, did you say? Interesting. Yes, East London. East London. Might send you a little private message, actually, Vera, just a minute. Don't tell anyone. There you go. See what you think of that, Vera. Email, darling, email. I can't send you one back on the text, all right? There's Ray Reynolds. Yes. Ray Reynolds has been to Pontins Lowestoft and Morecambe and Sunshine Holiday Camp, Hayling Island. Don't we? I loved holiday camps, Ray. Really. It was great when we were little. I got to 16 and I don't know if it's an age thing. I didn't want to go with my mum and dad on holiday. But we went. I made them promise to get me my own chalet, and they even got me my own chalet. All I did was moan. Awful. I was an awful teenager to my parents. Awful. And through the early part of my 20s, actually. I was awful. God knows how they ever put up with me. I really don't know. But not once did they turn their back away. Funny, isn't it? You know, some of the parents, they kick the kids out. No, not mine. They never, ever let us down. Never turned their backs. Never. Very lucky. I don't think we went to Lowestoft. Don't think we went to that one. I remember going to the Pontins. We remember Seacroft, I think, was the first one. Or it might have been Sand Bay, Seacroft, Riviera. I can't remember the others, actually. Can't remember. But, of course, Pontins, they used to have this thick booklet of all their holiday camps. And they were great. They were great. And according to some of the YouTube videos and stories that you hear from people now, they're a terrible shadow of what they used to be. They just haven't kept on top of the maintenance. Butlins, on the other hand, I don't really hear anyone say anything bad about Butlins. But you were either Pontins or Butlins, weren't you? You know, they always thought Pontins was the better out of the two, but I think it's gone the other way now, isn't it? Right, but wonderful times at Pontins, yeah. Going in the ballroom at night, seeing all the people dancing, doing the waltzes, and you get a band on the stage, wouldn't you, and all that. There was no DJ, was there? It was like bands and shows. Wonderful. Remember seeing this Welsh singer? She was a bit like Shirley Bassey. What was her name now? And she was multiracial. What's that word? Not multiracial. Mixed race. She was mixed race as well. Sort of darker, I think. Very similar to Shirley Bassey, she looks and sounded. Can't remember. Do you know that would be, Ray? What was her name? Welsh singer. She would have been 45, 50 at the time. So she'd now be sort of 80, 85. And I bought one of her records, and I bought one of her 45-inch singles because she was selling them afterwards, and she signed it. I think I've got that somewhere. Who would that be? Anyone know who that be? Welsh singer, mixed race, or black. I don't know if she was mixed race or black, come to think of it now. I'm not quite sure. She was like a lighter black, though, you know, and she was Welsh. Very similar to Shirley Bassey. Anyone know who that was? Good evening to Cornwall and Paul. Evening to a wet Devon from DJ Sparky and his Mrs. Joe. Thank you to you too. No rain here. They keep promising rain today and it's not happened yet. It's been really thick cloud. That's the other thing that stopped me going out today. I've been busy doing my plants around the caravan. Done a bit of that going on today. Alan Ross says, I think it was 1979, the winter of discontent, when the binmen went on strike. Rubbish just piled up everywhere, if I remember correctly. So the people just kept dropping it, did they? Isn't that awful? Isn't that awful? No, not Chingford. I don't think it's Chingford anyway. Let's have a look here. See if I can find the is that it there? There we are. I'll send you a link. Oh, there we go. Just a minute, Vera. Coming at you, my love. I can't tell you where it is in case it doesn't happen, because that kept it, and it's just embarrassing when it goes so far. There you go. Another email coming to you now, Vera. There's Shania. Good evening, Shania. Hello, joined us at half time in the football. Thank you, Shania. Hope you're well today. Oh, does this mean there's no rosary tonight then? Oh. Oh, you seem to leave my show when you're doing the rosary. Are you not leaving the football then to do the rosary, my love? Oh, hang on a minute. Half time. That gives you enough time to get a couple of decades in, my love. Get a couple of decades in there, my love. All right. Thank you, Shania. Text 07451 287 337. Don't forget, gang, if you're in the chat box trying to send me a message, I'm not in the chat box, okay? You need to send a text, please, or an email. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk is my email address. Do you do this in the supermarket? I know people that do this, right? It's very naughty. Very, very naughty. Now, Vera, she works in a supermarket. Have you ever caught anyone doing this? If I said to you, grapes, carrots, and self-service checkout, I bet you know exactly where this story's going. I bet you know straight away. And I've always been aware of this and how easy it is to do it. And I wonder how many people get away with this. Daily Mirror. Self-service checkouts started popping up in the UK just over a decade ago. Can you believe we've had those for 10 years now? Those self-service checkouts. Where's that time gone, eh? 10 years. And now you'd be hard-pressed to find a supermarket without them. Well, you can. In fact, I've not come across an Aldi or a Lidl yet with self-service checkouts. Do any of them have them? I wonder why that is. You would have thought those money-saving places would have something like that, wouldn't you? Because that's what it's all about. Oh, believe me, those people running the supermarkets would like nothing better than to get rid of half of their staff so they don't have to pay them anymore. And then the people at the top can have even more money for themselves. It's a sad state of affairs, really. You're also hard-pressed, I think, to find people that actually enjoy doing the self-service checkout. I mean, I don't really like it. There's always something that gets stuck. There is an undisclosed item in the checkout area. Please remove this item and try again. All that business going on there. But how easy it is to abuse the system. You know that if you try and put something in that bag, it reads it, doesn't it? And tells you you've put something in the bag you shouldn't have done. Little red light flashes over and a little old note. Mrs. Busybody comes over and checks your bags for you, doesn't she? Well, sometimes they don't even check your bag. I think it depends how you look. Usually, if something gets stuck, whatever supermarket I'm in, someone comes over, waves their card across, pushes a few buttons, and there you go, mate, and carries on. They don't look in my bag, really. I wouldn't nick anything out of it. I'd be terrified. If I nicked something from a supermarket, I'd be terrified there'd be a lot, even actually without stuff being nicked. Even without stuff being nicked, I hate having to walk through the 2 alarms. You know, those posts at the entrance. I hate it. Because it has happened before. Where I've bought stuff, paid for it, and the alarm's gone off. And funnily enough, they always seem to know what it is. A bloke come over. Well, I just stop instantly and I freeze. Oh, God, everyone's now looking at me. Well, I just got a sharp pain in my head then. What was that? Everyone's looking at me. As you go through these posts. Alarm going off. Hate it. And they do know what it is. For example, in Asda, usually they come over and says, "Did you buy flowers?" "Yeah, I got some flowers." "Okay, it'll be those." And you pick up the flowers and they pull something off the bottom. "There you go, mate." And off you go. I've never been sort of frog marched to an office or something like that. Oh, can you imagine that, dear? in front of all the customers and staff, being frog marched to an office because you've been caught nicking something. I'd be horrified. Horrified. There are people out there that say, well, they wouldn't nick it if they didn't have to. What about they have to feed their family? I've heard that story before. It's sad, really, isn't it? Some people can't afford food. I can't. Anyway, here's the story. The self-service checkouts cut down queue sizes and speed things up. Really? Do they? Which supermarket are they going in then? Although supermarkets do put measures in place to stop people cheating the system, they often still rely on customers being truthful about their purchases. Yes, I often wondered that as soon as these things started appearing, you know, is there like a little camera somewhere watching me do everything? There must be, mustn't there? Secret cameras. Like above. I used to look above me. Is there a camera up there somewhere watching what I'm putting through here? No, of course not. It's weighing the stuff. It's weighing the stuff. But there must be other measures in place which Vera may be able to help us with, you know. Surely not just the weighing, because, you know, I don't know, want this pair of glasses, right? I could want this pair of glasses, which is 20 quid, right? And I could pick up some paper, which is 50 pence, put that on the thing, beep, beep, and through it goes after doing the barcode with that. All right, so do the barcode with that, and then do the barcode with that, and then put the glasses in, because they weigh the same. Now, how easy is it to do that? I don't know. I've never done it. And I wouldn't. I'd be terrified about being caught. Terrified. It says the law is the law. One shopper has been warned that her cheeky tactic at the checkout to save some cash could land her in trouble. So what does she do? Now, I've seen this done with my own eyes, believe me. A woman wrote into Newscom Australia, Sister-in-Law, which allows people to put their legal conundrums to sisters and lawyers, Alison and Gillian Barrett, about a disagreement she had with a friend. She said, here it comes. Ready, Vera? You already know where this is going, don't you? She said that when her friend uses the self-service checkouts, she regularly puts more expensive fruit and veg, such as an avocado. Now, I don't know how much avocados are. I don't eat them. So, such as an avocado, according to this, they're expensive items, through the system as a brown onion instead. Now, the example I could give you of that, because I know the prices, are grapes and carrots. So you've got your grapes, I don't know, £1.90 a pound. You weigh them and you put them through as carrots. 15 pence a pound. Beep, beep, in the bag. How easy is it to do that? I thought there would be a camera or something there. But maybe it's just luck of the draw that they catch some people, not others. I don't know how it works. The friend believes it isn't stealing as she's still paying something for it, and claims the supermarkets work the cost of the self-checkout fraud into its prices because everyone does it. I mean, what planet is she on? It's not stealing. Oh, really? The lawyers replied to advise, it doesn't matter how your friend tries to justify her behaviour, her deceit conduct in intentionally not paying the full price is, of course, against the law. She's nicking. Thieving cow. Your friend's technique of using the self-service checkout to pass off more expensive items as cheaper ones cheats the system by underpaying. Her fraudulent behaviour is just one of the many tricks employed by self-service thieves to avoid payment. So I don't know what else they do. It says self-service checkouts can weigh items to check you're being truthful. And so, but it doesn't always work. You know, you put something on, I put on there, I don't know, a packet of butter, and you put it in the thing, and then the red light comes on and says you put something else in there, but you haven't. So they're not infallible, are they, those things? I'm sure they're good most of the time, but they're not infallible. And the other time, you know, I've put stuff, you know, done beep beep beep, and it's come up. I don't know, packet of box of Maltesers. You put it in the thing, and then you try and scan the next thing, and it says, "Please place this item in your bag." Well, it hasn't registered the thing. Self-service checkouts can weigh the items to check you're being truthful, and supermarkets often employ staff and security guards to ensure they're being used correctly, but they also rely on the honesty of their customers. Now, I don't know what the percentage is of honest customers. I would imagine it's pretty high. Then again, I would imagine it depends which supermarket you're shopping in. You know. Now, I don't necessarily think that if you're poor, you're any more likely to defraud the system than if you're rich. Some rich people defraud the system just to get kicks out of it, I would imagine. I bet they have just as much trouble in Waitrose as they do in perhaps Tesco's or Sainsbury's. I don't know. They warned that an excuse like getting avocados confused with brown onions is likely not going to cut it if a friend is eventually caught and should be left facing a range of punishments. There should be whipping. Oh, where's the whips? Let's bring out the whips. Where's the Brits? Where's the whips? Mandy Davenport. There you go. That's what we need. A little bit of whipping going on there, I think. In Australia, the legal experts advised that the Act can carry either a fine, having to pay for the items and apologise to the store, or even criminal charges. Well, you've got to give some sort of criminal charges, haven't you? You can't just ask them to pay for the thing. Nick 'em. Otherwise, what's to stop them doing it again? If you're going to nick a packet of grapes and you get caught, well, you need to pay for those. So you pay for those and you go, well, you might as well try it again, mightn't you? There should be some sort of thing there. They conclude you have to ask, is saving a few dollars on avocados worth the risk? Because that's basically all it is. How many avocados can you buy? What are you saving? 50 pence? Something like that? It's just not worth it, is it? Even if you was to have a load of stuff put through there and saving money. I mean, what would you save? 2 or 3 quid? Mind you, again, 2 or 3 quid to some people is an awful lot of money when they don't have much money, as you know. Right, let's read some of your texts out from this. Does Vera say that? Here we go. Vera. She says, Lidl in Walthamstow has self-service checkouts. That's the only one I know. I've never come across a Lidl or an Aldi with self-service checkouts. Now, admittedly, you go into Aldi and Lidl, the queues can be very long, but they are very fast. They are very fast, I give them that. She says, I used to be on oh my God, she was on the 8 self-service checkouts. So 1 member of staff, 8 and they bloody hell do they work hard. They got to have eyes in the back of their heads, haven't you? That little red light comes on. Be with you in a moment, sir. She gets her card around you, waves it across the machine, punches in some sort of code, and off you go again until the next time you get stuck. I used to be on the 8 self-service checkouts. Each machine has a different scan tone. Oh, is that right? Which I knew. I didn't have to watch. I just listened and caught several people trying to steal. Did you hit them? Did you whip them? Did you whip them? Did you give them pain and suffering, Vera? That's what we need. I think you should be issued with tasers. Supermarket checkout staff should be issued with tasers. And they say, taser, wait till they get near the door. I think to nick someone, haven't they got to go outside the door? If you see what I mean. So if they've got something in their bag and you're pretty sure, have you got to wait until they've gone outside the door to challenge them? I don't know. You tell me. And as they step outside the door, instead of challenging, just taser them. Like that. Fabulous. And if you do that, can you video that and put that on YouTube, please? Can I have that video off you to try and get my numbers up? Because things are desperate here. I don't mind telling you. Desperate, desperate. Oh, Vera. She says each item has its own weight embedded in the barcode. So I don't know how it works. She says at our Sainsbury's, each self-scan has cameras. Wow. Yeah. Wow. There's Mandy. You called for my services. Thank you, Mandy. Just need a little bit of help in some of the supermarkets there, my darling. Dodgy people nicking avocados instead of onions. Putting them through as onions. Alan Rosser says even the pound shop has self-service checkouts now. Does it? Wow. And there's a good place to spend money you didn't think you had. The pound shop. The amount of people that go in, oh, let's just have a look in the pound shop. They don't actually want anything. They come out and they see that pound shop. Oh, we'll just go in there, see if there's any bargains. But they don't actually want anything. Therefore, the pound shop is not saving you money. It's making you spend more money. And you come out with all these little bits of plastic. What you going to do? Oh, I thought that might come in handy. Don't go in there. Pound shop, dear. Alan says, I personally hate them. My local Morrison's only ever has 2 or 3 proper checkouts. One person looking after about 20 self-service checkouts. Half of them have got card only, haven't they? No wonder the supermarket profits are through the roofs. Well, they are. They are. And I bet those 20 checkouts are not all working, are they? Someone's stuck a piece of paper over there. Sorry, out of order. Maybe supermarket checkouts are the new public toilets, aren't they? How many public toilets did you go past in your life that are, sorry, out of order? It's like when you go in a petrol garage and I haven't got a toilet. Oh, any chance I could use it? I'm really sorry, it's out of order. No, it isn't. You just don't want me to use it. Why didn't you say that? Good evening to Rachel Wheatland. Evening, Rachel. Evening, Rachel. There's Carl. Carl Sprintervan is in the house. Coming to you live. Evening, Carl, who says Little Worcester has got 6 self-service card-only payments there. So I didn't know that. So we've got a couple of Lidls with the self-service. Maybe they're rolling those out. I don't think they've got them here in Boston. Here's a Lidl in Boston. Lovely Lidl in Boston. Really nice and big and bright and laid out well. You know what I mean? I must admit, the Audi I generally go to in Bracknell, it's not. It's a bit small, you know. I quite like the Audi in Skegness. That's quite well laid out. Vera, they don't have to go out to catch them. I wanted to put them in our walking freezer at minus 27 degrees. She sent an email a few days ago. What was that about, Vera? What's the email you sent me a few days ago, darling? Which one was that, my love? Let me know. Let me know. Thank you, Vera. All right. Have you got a pet with a talent? Now, we used to see these. Who remembers the programme in the 1970s, That's Life, with Esther Ranson? Dun, dun, dun. Hello, my name's Esther Ranson, and welcome to That's Life. She's a bit like Janet Street Porter. Are they sisters? Esther Ranson and Janet Street Porter. Are they sisters? Are they sisters, do you think? She used to present this programme on a Sunday night, and it was ever so good, to be honest. That's Life. And it was a mixture of, like, news and not social affairs, consumer affairs, news, and they made it funny. It was a good show. There's a bloke who used to sit in this big chair with glasses on and doing poetry and things like that. Can't remember his name now. It was good. Bill Buckley was on there as well. He's a friend of mine on Facebook, Bill Buckley, who later on did other stuff on the radio and that sort of thing. But one of the things That's Life used to do was have pets on who had talents. A lot of parrots and budgery guys that could talk. There was a dog on there. I never forget this dog. And it could say the word sausages. You might have heard me, whenever we mention sausages, I say, sausages. That's exactly what the dog used to do. Sausages. This dog. Music was good. Actually, I wonder if I can find that as a bed. That's live. Let's have a look. That's live bed. I'll try and get that for the show this week, for the radio show. Music. Da 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 da. Sunday night, never missed it. I actually went to BBC Television Centre to see it several times. Actually, it was nice to watch it, and they used to record it on the Sunday night just before air. It wasn't live. But what about your pet? Have you got a pet that has your talent? Maybe a cat, anything, snake, parrot, budgerigar. What about chicken with talent? The Daily Mail reports dogs can effortlessly learn the names of their toys, a new study finds, but most likely if they're a border collie. So it's a border collie that's got the talents, according to this. In a sample of 40 dogs, 7 were able to learn the names of their toys, like turtle, squirrel, and Mickey Mouse, after 3 months of training. Now, I must admit, apart from the dog that says the word sausages, I've never come across a dog that I've found can actually talk or say a word of some sort. According to the Daily Mail, amazingly, one of the dogs, a border collie, was able to recognise the names of a whopping 37 toys. This dog. He could say the names of 37 toys. It says, but the ability to learn toy names is relatively rare in dogs and only apparent in a number of gifted individuals, the study authors say. 6 of the 40 dogs that were adept at learning toy names had prior training, meaning only one of the remaining 34 dogs, about 3%, was able to learn the skill from scratch during the study period. Can your dog talk at all? Or maybe it does something else. See some of these dogs at dog shows that you jumping through the little hoops and things like that. Eh? I think some dogs have talents that we don't know. Certainly, when I was ill about 11 years ago, before I went to the hospital and found out what was wrong with me, this dog, I was permanently tired. I spent months feeling that I'd just got up. You know that when you it was like that all day long. And this dog, I was laying on my sister's settee, and she had the most beautiful black. What are they called? Black retriever, like a golden retriever but black. What's that called? Black. I can't remember what they're called now. Anyway, this dog came in, looked at me, and then jumped up and just lay across me completely like that on my back. It was a lovely feeling. Duchess, her name was. Lovely dog. Researchers also found that puppies and mature dogs had the ability to learn toy names, which was a surprise because puppies generally have greater neuroplasticity. That's the ability of the brain to change and adapt. I wonder if my brain will ever change or adapt. No, probably not. Toy names learned by gifted dogs. Gaia in Brazil, Max, Hungary, Olivia, Brazil, 21. It goes on. They were all border collies. A lot of them, all of them. Wow. The dog that named 37 words was a 3-year-old border collie called Gaia from Brazil. 37 words it could talk. It's good, isn't it? A dog that talks. Would it be nice to have a pet that could talk to you? I mean, not like a budgerigar or someone like that, but like, I don't know, a cat or something where you could pick it up and stroke, and I think that'd be really nice if we talk to the animals, like Dr. Dolittle. If you could talk to the animals, da 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 da. That one, yeah. Huh? Vera says I used to have a cat that was good at stealing my sister's jewellery. Oh, they do. But cats nick stuff, don't they? One day he stole her engagement ring and hid it under the carpet at the top of the stairs. They have it in Gibraltar. Monkeys run wild. They're like wild animals in Gibraltar. Not like wild, like Like we have here, cats roaming the streets and dogs. Not so much these days, the dogs. Remember back when I was a kid, there was lots of stray dogs everywhere. You don't really see those anymore, do you? When's the last time you saw a stray dog? Eh? Don't see them anymore, do we? Ever. See stray cats. But in Gibraltar, they have monkeys, just like the cats, roaming around, and they nick people's stuff. I wonder sometimes if it's someone training them to nick from you, you know, and collecting all the stuff perhaps for someone else and selling it on, maybe. I don't know. Must say I got up late. I was ever so tired on Saturday morning. I got back from work up at the caravan. I got here around about 2:15. I didn't go mad on the road or anything like that. And I got in here. I just put my bags down and almost went straight to bed. And I did. Do you know what time I woke up? Saturday morning. I couldn't believe it. 10 to 10, dear. 10 to 10. That is so late for me. I like to be up around about 7:15 in the morning, ready to do my activities. 10 to 10 I woke up on blooming Saturday. This morning was a bit better this morning, 8 o'clock. And the good news is my Amazon device is now working here. So that did work, what DJ Chris told me to do. You remember the first time I had it here, it wouldn't work, wouldn't connect to the router. So DJ Chris told me he'd spoken to someone at Amazon and said, take it to somewhere where it works, i.e. my home. It's a problem with with the 4G router. That was the problem with all 4G routers. Take it to a normal router, connect, download the new software, which is very easy. You just literally plug it in, wait till it connects, then put it on mute and leave it for half an hour. And then by then it's downloaded the new software and updated it. So that's what I did. Brought it back here. And then Saturday morning I plugged it in. Took me a minute to connect it. And that all works nicely now. Brilliant news. Ever been up in a hot air balloon? Has that appealed to you at all? Must be quite nice. Do you remember the Nimble balloon? Do you remember Nimble Bread? Can you still get that? And the jingle. Alan Ross, you need this for your show tonight. She flies like a bird in the sky. She flies like a bird, and I wish that I could fly. She flies like a bird in the sky. That was the advert for Nimble Bread. Oh, you must remember that. Come on. It was a white packet, wasn't it? The bread was so small. You needed about 10 slices. And if you were going to do that, well, you kind of defeated the object of cutting down on bread, didn't you? Nimble Bread. And they used a balloon, didn't they? BBC used balloons for a while when they got rid of the Globe, which was a travesty in my... But that's why I've got the Globe now. I now have the UK's only Globe. There it is. Oh, no, it isn't. There it is. There it is. There we are. I now have the Globe. The BBC don't have a Globe anymore. I have the Globe. They got rid of it. Shocking state of affairs. I keep doing that, don't I? Hitting the wrong button there. That thing there, I'll tell you what that is. Where is it now? Hit that again. Where is that? See that there? Okay, that's what I can see in front of me. Yeah? You can see a Holy Cross there. The reason is, when I'm doing the streaming of the church service, what I have to do is bring up Facebook, because the church streams on Facebook. So what I have to do is bring it up on my screen, and I literally grab the live screen and send it out on YouTube. That's how that works. So what you were seeing was the screen that's in front of me. You see. Yeah, the BBC balloons. Just trying to think of anything other. Sometimes people get balloons to advertise things, don't they? I've seen. I think I've seen an IKEA balloon before. IKEA. Well, one of them's come down. The Sun reports a hot air balloon made a dramatic landing last night as it crashed into a pub in Nottinghamshire. You remember that helicopter that crashed into a pub? Someone in Scotland, wasn't it? Was it Glasgow? Helicopter literally... Was it a police helicopter? Crashed into a pub. Oh, this one was a hot air balloon. The aircraft, they call it an aircraft, hot air balloon. The aircraft plunged to the ground in Sutton in Ashfield town centre, smashing into the Nag's Head pub. Has any of you been on a hot air balloon? It's weird. I know, like, in a plane. I know, like, are you any safer in a plane or a balloon? You know, there's not like a thing that would be sort of secondary if the balloon burst or all the hot air came out. You know, if it suddenly ripped, it would just fall straight down, wouldn't it? There's not like a secondary system to sort of protect you. Are you safer on a plane or a balloon, I wonder? Do you remember that film, The Red Balloon? It's a French film. Wonderful film, 1960s, early 1960s, I think it is. And it's about this red balloon. This little boy's got this red balloon, and they become friends. Right? It's a bit magical. And this balloon follows this little boy everywhere. And eventually, I think he takes the balloon, and he's got loads of horrible boys there. This balloon, they're being horrible to the boy. I think the balloon. I can't remember the story now. It's so long ago. It's on YouTube. Do look it up. The Red Balloon. Charming story. And these boys pop the balloon. And you see the balloon kind of die. And the boy's really upset. And he starts crying and all that. It's really quite touching. And then while the boy is there, all these red balloons come flying over the buildings. Hundreds of them. It's a nice ending. Watch it. You'll like that. I think it's called The Red Balloon. It's on YouTube. Well, back to this story in the Sun then. Have any of you been in a balloon? Officers from the British Transport Police spotted a balloon coming down and rushed to the scene, giving first aid to those involved before helping to get the balloon back under control. Yeah, see, because that is a great big thing flapping away, isn't it? Oh, mind you, a little bit like my rubbish bag earlier. There's this rose bush that's appeared and it's coming through the fence. It's on my side and it was all over the place, so I cut that back today. Honestly, and I've got this bin liner and I'm trying to get the bits of rose bush into this black bag. Every time I put another piece in, and like a thorn would catch the side of the black bag and rip the damn thing. It was so difficult getting the thing in there. I managed eventually and took it round by the tip there. Trying to keep this bag under control. It must be the same with a balloon. Great big thing flapping away there. The policeman said, now this isn't something that happens very often. While on patrol, officers have witnessed a hot air balloon crashing into Sutton in Ashfield town centre. Officers have assisted with first aid before helping to get the balloon under control. Blimey. They dealt with a possible broken nose, broken roof tiles and damaged drain pipe. You don't want damaged drain pipes. Don't want leaks, dear. Worried onlookers were quick to comment, with Run writing, hope everyone is okay. So there we are. I don't think I'd feel very safe in a hot air balloon like that. Vera says, going up in a hot air balloon never really appealed to me. You know, maybe I could get a job, Vera. You know, filling balloons with hot air. Is that kind of going to work, do you think? All I'd have to do is talk to the balloons, wouldn't I? And they would immediately take off. I think that would work, wouldn't it? Perhaps it's something that you'd like to do in your life, eh? Could that be on anyone's bucket list? Going up in a hot air balloon? Well, there's one man who achieved his life's dream today. That man is Richard Branson. I was watching him on the live thing earlier, and his spaceship went up, didn't it? Virgin Galactica. I was watching it on the video on the live stream. Fantastic. Fantastic. Here's the BBC's take on it. Billionaire Sir Richard Branson has successfully reached the edge of space on board his Virgin Galactic rocket plane. The UK entrepreneur flew high above New Mexico in the US in the vehicle that his company has been developing for 17 years. And he said it was the experience of a lifetime. I was watching him talk as he was coming out of the, after it had touched back down again. And he said, I've always dreamed of going into space since I was a little boy. And today he done that. How blooming marvellous for him is that? And I felt quite pleased for him. Of course, you had all the usual suspects because sadly they had a chat box open, didn't they? Oh, why doesn't he use his money for this? Why doesn't he do this? Oh wow, 7 minutes in space. I spend longer on the toilet. You know, those sort of messages. Very negative people. Negative people. He can't see what an achievement that was. It says he returned safely to Earth just an hour after leaving the ground. I've dreamt of this moment since I was a kid, he said. But honestly, nothing can prepare you for the view of Earth from space, he said in a press conference following the flight. The whole thing was just magical. Would you want to do something like that? I gotta say, when it kind of, the plane's in like two bits. It's almost like there's three aeroplanes at the beginning. You've got the kind of plane that he's in the middle and two other planes either side of it, but they make one big plane sort of thing, right? That's the only way I know how to explain it to you. And this thing goes so high, and then these two planes detach from it. They are one, but they look like two planes. They detach from it, and then this thing points upwards and then shoots up, and that's when you can see the real power of the rocket underneath this. And that would, I got to say, that would terrify me, sitting on all that fuel. You remember many, many years ago, they sent a spaceship up to Moon, didn't they? And it exploded on the way up there. The rocket killing all the people, hopefully instantly rather than drawn out. So things do go wrong. To be sitting on that tank of fuel like that, some people might say to you, well, it's the same as being in a car in a tank of petrol. No, it's not. You have got some chance of getting out of a car. You haven't really got much chance of getting out of a rocket as it's going up there, have you? I don't think it's for me, that sort of thing. The trip also makes him the first of the new space tourism pioneers to try out their own vehicles, beating Amazon's Jeff Bezos and SpaceX's Elon Musk. I think the three of them are kind of in a little bit of a competition. I don't imagine for one moment that they dislike each other. They just want to be the first ones to do it, you know. The height reached by Sir Richard in the rocket plane known as Unity was 85 kilometres, which is about 53 miles up in the air. And they weren't up there for long, minutes. But the fact is they did it. I suppose in the future they'll find other ways to do this and they won't need rockets and enormous amounts of fuels. There must be some other way of doing it. I saw somewhere a couple of years ago microwaves. Someone was using like some sort of microwaves to power a spaceship along. I don't know how that worked. 600 individuals have already paid deposits for tickets that will cost them up to £180,000 for that flight. I don't know what it is, but 5-10 minutes in space, £180,000. Now, I'll be honest with you, it's not something I could afford. But it doesn't sound too bad to me, that price. Does it you? I thought you'd be talking $1 million plus. £180,000 for a seat on that. To go up to space and come back down again. If you had the money, would you pay that? It says these are all people who want to reach a height where they can see the sky turn black and marvel at the Earth's horizon as it curves away into the distance. Such a flight should also afford them about 5 minutes of weightlessness. Oh, I'd love to be weightless, wouldn't you? Which they will be allowed to float around inside Unity's cabin. Brilliant. I just wish people hadn't been so blooming negative on the on some of the chat box that was going on that. There's just so much negativity around, isn't there, when people are trying to do something and all you get is like sarcastic remarks all the time or little digs all the time. And that's what they were doing when he was trying to go up there. Just constant little digs from people. Not that he would read them anyway, you know. I think you kind of turn off from the sort of negative side of things, or you just start ignoring them eventually, didn't you? Thank you, Vera. Yeah, maybe so. I don't know, my darling. Maybe so. I don't know. I thought they were at the other one. Isn't there another one around that area? Yeah, the blind thing, isn't it? The blind thing. All right. What else have we got? Is there something that you'd like to do in your life, perhaps? Something like that. Something unusual. Something perhaps you'll probably never be able to do because you simply can't afford it. Is there something? Something unusual you'd like to do? Maybe you'd like to climb up Mount Everest, I don't know. Or go scuba diving with sharks and things like that. And you know, those little kind of underwater boat things. Not are they mini submarines with that all glass around them so you can see the underwater? Oh, I don't think I'd like something like that. I don't like to be enclosed. My mum had that. She didn't like enclosed space. She wouldn't even get in a lift. My mum. Oh dear. John Paris says, would you go up if Mark Bowles was on board? No, I don't think I would. I don't think I would. No, it's not my cup of tea. I would imagine it's something you'd want to do, John. Go up in a spaceship. That'd be your cup of tea, do something like that. Just trying to think if any of my other friends would want to go up in a spaceship like that. You know, if it goes wrong, I don't think you've got much of a chance, really, have you? It was like, when it come down again, it was just like a plane. Like a big silver plane. Blooming wonderful. I might watch it again a little bit later properly. I only sort of saw bits and pieces of it while I was waking up. All right. Electric shock treatment for depression. I just wanted to mention this quickly. It's something that I've known about for a while. Someone I know had it many, many years ago, but I kind of chose not to find out about exactly what it was, except that it would help. Okay? One of my mates has just had it done. And I said, what's it like? He said, well, I went in there expecting a metal helmet to be put on my head. You know, like in the films. And this great big metal head with lights flashing away and they switch on the current or something like that. He said it wasn't like that at all. It's more like electrodes being placed. A bit like on your head. A bit like a heart monitor type thing. I don't know if they were on his chest as well. He certainly said on his head. And he said the person doing it then asks them, do you want to know when the surge is coming? And he said, no, just do it. And he said he likens it to being punched in the chest suddenly. He said that's exactly how it was. When they did it, it was like someone punching him in the chest. So that's electric shock treatment for depression. Reckons it to bring him out of it. I don't know if it will. The other person I know who had it many years ago, they did come out of it very quickly. I don't know why that is. I'm not quite sure they know why it is either, but they do know it does work in many cases. Not always. Electric shock treatment. Do you have any sort of experience of yourself, perhaps, or someone else that you might want to talk about? Electric shock treatment? Anything like that? Well, just keep that phone line open for a little bit longer and then we'll close the phone line. All right, my darlings? I can't believe it's 20 to 10 already. Sitting here chatting in a room on my own, and to you, of course. Electric shock treatment. I don't think it's something I'd like. John says I'm going up next year, first class. There's no first class, dear. It's just one class. I don't know how many people. It looked to me like there were 4 people in that spaceship. Oh, you could see 4, couldn't you? 1, 2, 3, 4. Or was it 6? Was it 6? There would have been a pilot as well, which we couldn't see. We couldn't see the pilot. All we saw mainly was Richard was in the front left. There's a bloke on the front right, front left, and Richard got very excited, Richard Branson. And why blood now shouldn't he? These people, he should spend his money on that. Why should he? It's his money. Spend his money what he damn well pleases. You know, these people like him, Elon Musk, yeah, they're billionaires. Of course they are. These are the people that move humanity forward because they spend their money on that and other things will come from that, you see. It's like when they go up to the moon and they do these various different experiments, right? Other things come from those experiments that they don't expect. I don't know what, like perhaps treatments for various different diseases and things that we can do on the earth now that we couldn't have done then, that sort of thing. These are all very important things. And you've got to spend this money. Well, we're lucky that he does things like this. Yes, he has had a good time doing that, but it has also moved humanity perhaps a step further to space travel. Because one day, perhaps not in our lifetimes, one day we will have to leave the Earth when the sun starts exploding. That's of course, unless we muck it up first, which is highly likely, I think. I think we might have gone too far now. No way back. But if we do manage to survive this one day, we will have to leave the planet. And the only way you're going to do that is to fly somewhere else, isn't it? Or press a button and transport yourself. And we have moved a tiny step in that direction by what Richard Branson's done. All right, we might not be able to, or when we leave the planet at some point, we might not necessarily have these great big blooming rockets. We might have to find another way to do it. Or we don't have to dig up loads of oil and shove that in there and what have you. Technology is exciting sometimes, isn't it? Wondering what we're going to do. Like Star Trek. It was just Star Trek and all that business, eh? Dilithium crystals. Anyone got any of those for sale? Vera says, I close my eyes when I go on roller coasters, so going up in space for me would be a waste of money. Same here, Vera. In fact, I no longer go on roller coasters. I've been on about 3 in my time. Space Mountain, God, 20 odd years ago at Disney in Florida. The train one, is that Big Rock Candy Mountain? Again at Disney. I went on there twice, and the second time I just refused to open my eyes. That was 1999, I think. Yeah, open your eyes, Chris, open your eyes. No! I would not open my eyes. What a waste of money. I'm just happy there, sitting on the bench, watching the people go around while I'm shoving an ice cream in my mouth or a hot dog. They go on that thing in Blackpool, don't they? Oh my God. And a mate of mine went on that. He said, I thought I got to the top and all you can see is the sea. You can't see anything else because it goes down like that. He said, I thought I was going to die. Where is the excitement in going on something thinking that you're going to die? Which would be the case, same as you with a spaceship. No, thanks. Not for me. Not for me. Have you got any mobile phones hanging around? Old mobile phones could be worth a fortune. Again, from The Sun, your first mobile phone may be cheap compared to today's smartphones, but if you've still got it, it could be worth a fortune. The most valuable one, the first ever iPhone before production, which you're not going to have, is worth £10,000, according to research by online marketplace Love Antiques. And it's got pictures here of the various different phones. Do you remember the big square one? I think they called it a brick, right? Now, I always remember being at a gang show rehearsal, and the bloke, it was a nice bloke, Paul Spillane. There you go. That one there. If you got one of those, he had one of these. They're worth £3,500 now. Look at that. Great big thing. £3,500. And he also had, I think before he had that one, he had this one here, which came in sort of a case. That's the transmitter and battery thing on there. We had car phones, didn't we, before we had the little... I mean, look at this now, you know. This is an iPhone 8, okay? 2019, I bought this. Still works. The battery's a bit iffy now, to be honest. I have to charge it a couple of times a day now, but it works perfectly all right. I've no intention to upgrade this yet. In fact, I have upgraded it. I bought a new case, as you know, and a new screensaver. All right? It looks like, if I polish that, what's that? Well polished. Look, it looks like a new phone, doesn't it? Looks like a new phone, that does. Works perfectly all right. Don't need to keep upgrading things. The story goes on. There's also possible cash cows for those who still have old phones by Motorola and Nokia. Nokia 6310i? Is that the one I had, maybe? You're also more likely to have a valuable one if it's the first model in a range. It has an unusual design, or if it becomes associated with iconic movies. Alternatively, you might make a mint if it's made from luxury materials. Have you seen some of those like really expensive phones? They do them in Harrods. £10,000 for a phone. I'd be terrified of losing it, wouldn't you? My mate had Rolex. I did his. I was the best man for his wedding, 1999. Can't remember what year it was now. I went to St. Lucia. I was his best man. The lovely Irish girl, Shona, who sadly died some years later from breast cancer. And she brought her friend with her. Her friend took a shine to me. She didn't know I was gay. They told her eventually. Not before she had a few goes. And he had this Rolex watch, I don't know, £10,000. And he would take it off and just throw it on the towel on the beach. Oh, my God. I'd be terrified at losing. I've got nothing like that. No expensive jewellery whatsoever. I certainly haven't got any rings. I hate wearing rings. I can't bear it. Even when I was married, obviously I had to have a ring on when I was married, but I didn't like it. Just constantly knew it was there. Do you know what I mean? A bit like having something stuck in between your teeth. Does that ever happen to you? And you can't get this thing like this on, it won't come out, and you know it's there. I was like that with rings. I can't be wearing rings. No watches, really. No watches. No chains. No ankle chains, no Prince Alberts. I haven't got any jewellery at all. It says it's almost strange to think of a mobile phone as an antique, but as we outlined with our Ant Tech category, the pace of technological advancements means that a lot of them are nearing that stage. You see, your first mobile phone, what's that going to be, 20 years old, something like that? But they are now antiques, 25 years maybe, 30. The bloke says, it's safe to say there's some weird and wonderful models out there. Some, I'm sure, of people today wouldn't even know were phones, and they can be worth an enormous amount. I'll tell you what we did have. Me and my mate had one. We were with the 3 network. At the time, their customer service was abysmal. It was awful, really bad. And we had 2 of the first video phones. I think they were Motorola. And they were you opened them up and there was a screen and a keyboard. And it was supposed to be the world's first video phone. And my mate had one and I had one. Do you know what? In all the time we had it, I think it worked twice. And we were so excited. His picture sort of, oh my God, I can see you. I can see you too. But I think it only worked twice. And that was it. How well this has stuff come on. You know, I can call my cousin in Australia, and with a click of a finger, he just appears in front of me now. How fantastic is that? That really is Space 1999 technology, isn't it, eh? Wonderful. And it's got various things here. Pre-production iPhone is worth £10,000. The big Motorola, which I showed you a moment ago, is worth anywhere between £8,000 and £3,500. They got the Nokia 7700. I think my mate had one of those. It was looked a bit like a games type thing. Although it was never actually released to public, between £1,000 and £2,000. Is there anything you might have it? You might have had the Nokia Sapphire, which I think you pulled it down. That, if you've got one of those, that can be worth between £5,000 and £2,000 there. XL, do you remember an XL phone? I seem to remember XL phone, between £600 and £1,500. So, you know, if you've got any of these gadgets hanging around, even if they're not worth anything now, hold on to them. Hold on to them. Vera sent me a picture of all her old phones. Check this out here, look. Vera's phones. She's got them all still. Wow. Wonder if they're worth anything, Vera. Let's zoom in on that flip top one. What's that there? I can't quite see what that is. Is that a Motorola one there? Look at all her old phones she's got there. That one at the end there, the Nokia, that one there. Yeah, I had that one. That one there, I definitely had that one, Vera. All Vera's old phones. Do you keep your old phones? I tend to give mine away. Usually to my sister, actually. Although they're now on Huawei phones. Thank you very much, Vera. Have you got any old phones like that? Hold on to anything like that, because even if it's not worth anything now, the stuff I've chucked away over the years or given away, could have been worth something, but, there you are. Now, here's the good news for the gays. Who do you think is healthier than the general population? Story in the Daily Mail. England's lesbian, gay and bisexual people are less likely to be overweight than their straight peers. Oh. I don't know what's happened to me then. But we are more likely to suffer from poor health in other key areas, says the health survey for England. I won't go into the rest of it because it's a bit long-winded there. But there you go. According to that story, we are thinner than the rest of the population. I don't know what happened with me. Vera's thin. She's like a stick insect, aren't you, darling? There we are. All righty, gang. I think we're up there now. Thanks very much for all your messages on the show this evening. Now, don't forget, Mr. Gary Ross is... Not Gary Ross. Alan. Sorry, Gary. So, not that I don't love you. You know I love you very much. And Leslie. Hello to both of you. Alan Ross is with you on the radio tonight. There you go. On reachonair.com. He'll be with you at midnight. And I'll be there tomorrow morning. Look, I'm already there tomorrow morning. reachonair.com tomorrow morning at